In the day's other news, Republican leaders in the U.S. House of Representatives called a vote for tomorrow on an immigration bill, but they acknowledged it might fail. The bill would give young migrants a chance at citizenship, fund a border wall, and keep migrant families together if they enter the U.S. illegally. House Speaker Paul Ryan said it contains the seeds of consensus, but he would not predict passage.
We've made it extremely clear. We want to keep families together, and we want to secure the border and enforce our laws. Our government, because of a court ruling or a law, should not be forced to choose between keeping families together and securing the border and enforcing our laws. We should be able to do all of those, and that is the legislation that we're supporting and proposing.
Meanwhile, the family separations issue sparked new protests. Demonstrators in Los Angeles blocked a street ahead of remarks by U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions. The Secretary of Health and Human Services, Alex Azar, said today more than 2,000 migrant children are still in his department's custody. And 17 states, all with Democratic attorneys general, filed suit to force immediate reunification of separated families. New fighting in southern Syria has driven up to 50,000 people from their homes. That is according to United Nations officials. The refugees are fleeing as government forces push deeper into rebel-held areas in the southwest. The government of Turkey has resumed its political crackdown following President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's re-election. The state-run news agency reports that warrants have been issued for 138 people. They are suspected of ties to an opposition cleric who's now living in the U.S. Meanwhile, Turkey says President Trump spoke with Erdogan by phone today and congratulated him on his victory. In Iran, there were protests for a third day in Tehran against a crumbling currency and surging inflation. But President Hassan Rouhani blamed the troubles on U.S. sanctions. Rouhani told a meeting of judges that the U.S. is waging economic war, but he insisted it won't succeed.
America, or any other enemy, if it wants to defeat the Iranian nation, must first destroy Iranians' hopes for the future and their trust. But this is a proud nation that has stood up for its values throughout history and is ready to give its life and blood for Islam and Iran.
Last month, President Trump withdrew the U.S. from the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran and is set to reimpose sanctions. Back in this country, a wildfire in Northern California grew again overnight and now threatens 600 homes and other buildings. The Pawnee fire is burning 70 miles northwest of Sacramento. More than 230 firefighters are fighting the wind-driven flames. The U.S. Justice Department reports that women are underrepresented in key jobs across 4 major law enforcement agencies. The report looked at the FBI, the Drug Enforcement Administration, U.S. Marshals Service, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Women made up just 16% of criminal investigators and held few executive positions as of 2016. President Trump berated motorcycle maker Harley-Davidson again today for shifting production overseas. The company says it's trying to sidestep European tariffs that answered U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum. But in a series of tweets, the president said Harley is, quote, just using tariffs trade war as an excuse. And on Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 30 points to close at 24,283. The Nasdaq rose 29, and the S&P 500 added 6. Still to come on the NewsHour, Hawaii's Democratic Senator Mazie Hirono on the immigration debate in Congress. Banking on peace, real estate prices spike near the China-North Korea border. White House officials subject to public shaming. We delve into the nation's political divide and much more.